Do you know the two words I hate the most in the English language? They are the words coincidence and luck. Just so disgusting. Coincidence, a word we invented to make ourselves feel comfortable when the universe is too precise for comfort. I mean, we as human beings don't fail to disappoint, do we? February 2024. Turkey. A man stops to tie his shoelace. That tiny pause saves his life when a building behind him collapses. People call it luck, but I don't buy that. Because if he'd been 2 seconds faster or slower, he'd be gone. That isn't random. That's timing. Newton saw an apple fall, and instead of saying oops, he asked why. Gravity didn't appear that day. He just noticed what had always been there. Coincidence is just a law you haven't recognized yet. If you shuffled a deck of cards and they came out ace through king perfectly, you wouldn't call it luck. You'd say, this was arranged. Maybe the universe is arranged. And if you don't believe me, just wait until your alphabet soup spells subscribe to my channel. Then we'll talk. And yes, if that happens, I'll live stream my apology to coincidence believers everywhere. Have you ever heard of the divine ratio? What? You haven't? All right then. Let me be the first to tell you about it. From seashells to galaxies, a particular number keeps showing up, and that is 1.618. This number is known as the golden ratio. You'll find it in places you'd never expect. For example, in the spirals of sunflower seeds, 1.618. The curve of an ocean shell, 1.618. The branching of trees, the same ratio. The swirl of hurricanes, same ratio. The DNA helix, same ratio still. Even the spiral arms of galaxies? Yep. You guessed right. 1.618. Shocked. Me too. And yet people tell me it is coincidence. Human beings and their nature to look for an explanation to any phenomenon, no matter how crazy it sounds. Sad. Isn't this already proof that the universe is running on a single, elegant code? And here's the kicker. This same ratio shows up in your body. The proportions of your face, the distance between your eyes, even the shape of your lungs is mathematically linked to this number. Down to your DNA, which coils itself in 1.618 rotations for every full turn. This isn't just pretty math. It's precision. Ancient civilizations knew it long before modern science gave it a name. The Great Pyramids of Egypt are built perfectly based to the golden ratio. Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, a map of the human body, is based on it. The Parthenon in Greece, same ratio. I mean, come on, man. And yet, this isn't limited to nature or history only. In 2023, neuroscientists found that the brain's neural networks follow the same fractal patterns as the universe. Your mind is literally wired like the cosmos. In 2024, researchers analyzing stock market data noticed something bizarre. Fibonacci patterns, directly linked to the golden ratio, keep showing up in market trends. Even the chaos of human finance has fingerprints of order. Is that random? Or is it proof that everything, us, reality, space, and time, are all running on one divine blueprint? Although you could say, that's just coincidence. But if the same number is in galaxies, DNA, pyramids, and Wall Street, isn't that proof enough that it's not coincidence? But rather, it's the watermark of design. Even snowflakes, the veins of leaves, and river networks obey these hidden patterns. Coincidence, or God's handwriting on everything. And if you think that's wild, try explaining to your math teacher that the universe has been flexing with golden ratio aesthetics since before homework was invented. Even Newton gave us a law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Science. Simple. Predictable. But here's the thing. Ancient spirituality was saying the same thing for thousands of years. You reap what you sow. Call it karma. Call it physics. It's the same law. In 2024, a bakery in Ukraine gave away free bread during a crisis. No business plan. No expectation. Just kindness. And donations poured in globally, enough to triple their size. Meanwhile, billionaires who mocked their employees publicly. Within weeks, their company's stock plummeted. From Enron to Vishal Garg to Ken Fisher. And even down to the famous Elon Musk himself, who lost 15% of his Tesla stock in a week after already being down 50%. You think I'm lying? Do your research then. The universe doesn't forget. And yet we say coincidence? No, I don't think so. It is simply cause and effect with better branding. Push a wall, it pushes back. Gossip about your boss? Guess who's sitting behind you next at lunch? Yeah, cosmic law is fast, isn't it? Let's talk about the science that makes even scientists sweat, the science of quantum physics. At the smallest level, reality doesn't act the way you think it should. Particles appear, disappear, and exist in multiple states at once until someone observes them. And the moment they're observed, they decide what they are. In 2024, researchers ran another double-slit experiment, one of the strangest in physics. The results? Observation changed the outcome. Think about that. Reality behaves differently when it's being watched. Now pause. Isn't that what faith, prayer, or even intense focus does? You lock your eyes on an outcome so deeply that you collapse the maybe into a yes. If you're enjoying the video so far, please do the channel a favor and make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button. It really helps share these truths with more people. And don't take my word for it. Life shows this over and over again. In 2023, a skydiver's parachute failed to open properly. By every statistic, he should have died. But he fell into a swamp at exactly the right angle to survive, with minor injuries. A mother in 2024 walked away from a 15-car pileup with her baby unharmed because she left her house 3 minutes late that morning. These aren't accidents. They're microalignments, little nudges in reality that say, this is not random. Even in labs, scientists see it. Quantum entanglement, two particles, miles apart, moving in perfect harmony. No wires, no signals, just a connection science still can't fully explain. Yeah, the universe is just one big entanglement. You move, it moves. You focus, it shifts. Coincidence? No, the data's been screaming at us the whole time. Life is rigged with precision. Yeah, even particles act different when they know they're being watched. So basically, the universe has stage fright. Here's the thing about the universe. About God. He doesn't care how many followers you have, how big your entourage is, or whether your name trends in gold letters on Times Square. He cares about few things, and one of them is order. And in different industries, even the infamous entertainment industry, the proof is everywhere. Take the recent Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef. It wasn't just a rap battle. It was a case study in cosmic law. Kendrick dropped surgical bars, no gimmicks, just precision, timing, and truth. And suddenly, the guy who seemed untouchable looked human. Humility always wins. Not because it's flashy, but because it's rooted in truth. Or look at Will Smith at the Oscars. One slap, one impulsive moment, and in seconds, decades of a spotless career shifted. Coincidence? Or the universe giving us a live broadcast of how ego can detonate even the most polished image? Now, I'm not trying to tarnish the images of your favorite celebrities. No. I'm only trying to bring your awareness to how little actions that may seem normal can have lasting impact on us. All because we don't know better. I mean, compare those previous stories to these stories of grace. Keanu Reeves quietly donates millions to children's hospitals and rides the subway like an ordinary guy. He's not chasing headlines. Yet the universe keeps rewarding him with a career renaissance that looks like something scripted. Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million at Comedy Central. People called him crazy. Years later, he comes back stronger, wins the Emmys, and becomes the voice everyone listens to. That's what happens when you choose integrity over instant gratification. Even in music, you see it. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour became a global cultural reset, breaking records while she stopped mid-concert to defend fans from security guards. It wasn't just music, it was alignment between her values and her audience. These aren't PR stunts. These are receipts. Humility isn't weakness. It's a cosmic cheat code. Whereas ego always requires far more for the little it gives. Well, let's just say it is the tax you pay for pretending you're bigger than the order that runs the universe. And the universe has no problem collecting what is required. And look, If you've ever tried to skip your gym membership fee for 3 months straight, you already know how the universe collects its due. That reminder email always hits differently. When you zoom in, life looks messy, random, and chaotic. But have you ever tried zooming out? You'll realize it's a storyboard. The Wright brothers didn't luck into flight. They failed more than 700 times before their miracle success. In 2024, AI researchers trying to improve photo recognition accidentally created an algorithm that detects Alzheimer's disease years earlier than doctors would. Fast forward to 1928. Alexander Fleming comes back from vacation, sees a mold accidentally growing on his petri dish, and discovers penicillin. That mistake has saved over 200 million lives. Is this coincidence? Or was the universe tired of humanity dying from infected splinters? And down to this day, it keeps happening. In 2024, a 4-year-old in Brazil fell out of a window, landed in a laundry basket a neighbor had hung out to dry. No injuries. The odds? Astronomical. These aren't random strokes of chance. They're threads in a larger design we're only beginning to see. Even NASA knows this. When they launch a spacecraft to Mars, every decimal, every angle, every fraction of a second is calculated. One mistake? Mission failed. Yet somehow, this universe runs with such flawless precision that Earth orbits the Sun at exactly the right distance. Not a mile too close or too far, so we don't freeze or burn. Crazy, if you ask me. And if you still think life is just random, look at Scripture. Do you honestly think it's a coincidence that books in the Bible and other religious texts have survived, even to this day? King Jehoiakim burned Jeremiah's scroll, and God told Jeremiah to rewrite it, adding more than what was first destroyed. The book of the law was buried in dust for generations, then suddenly rediscovered in the temple during Josiah's reign, sparking a national revival. What? Are you saying these are just biblical texts? Okay then, how about this? Fast forward years later. The Romans hunt. Diocletian thought he'd erased it from history, but within a single generation, Constantine legalized it, and those same scriptures spread across the empire. And then, 2,000 years later, in a forgotten cave by the Dead Sea, hidden scrolls are discovered, perfectly preserved, confirming what had been written all along. Still coincidence? Or is this the universe screaming? These words were never yours to destroy. Call it physics, call it fate. But if this is coincidence, it's the most intelligent coincidence I've ever seen. And look, if my life has a storyboard, I'd like to file a complaint about the 3 hours stuck in traffic scene. But I trust the author knows what he's doing. We as human beings really amaze me sometimes. Like for real. Coincidence. So we just come up with terms to describe different phenomena when we don't want to admit to the truth in front of us. We say a car having an accident which is delayed by 2 minutes because you forgot your keys is coincidence. We say it when a scientist stumbles on a cure while looking for something else. We say it when someone prays in desperation and an answer arrives in a way they can't explain. But is it really coincidence, or are we simply giving a lazy name to the laws of a universe we don't fully understand yet? Think about this. The Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour, orbits the Sun at 67,000 miles per hour, and tilts at 23.5 degrees. Perfect for life. Water freezes from the top down, not the bottom up. If it didn't, oceans would turn solid ice and life would end. Even your heartbeat is timed to a mathematical precision that no human built, but every human depends on. And here's what blows my mind. In 2024, researchers studying the human brain discovered that when people experience deep gratitude or awe, their brainwaves sync in patterns almost identical to the harmonics of the Schumann resonance, the natural electromagnetic pulse of the Earth. Yup, your mind literally tunes into the planet. Still coincidence? No, that is simply design. And then there are the stories that shake even the skeptics. A woman in Japan survived both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombings. Twice. She lived to 93. In 2023, a baby in Turkey was pulled out alive from earthquake rubble after 128 hours. No food, no water, no air pockets. In 2024, An elderly man won the lottery using numbers he claimed he'd been seeing in his dreams for years. And the list just goes on and on. If randomness is in charge, then it's doing a suspiciously good job at looking organized. And maybe that's the point. Coincidence isn't an error in the system. It's the signature of a system so perfect, we call it chance, just because we're not ready to call it what it is. So the next time life throws at you what looks like a random coincidence, pause and take a closer look. Patterns don't happen by accident. And if you start paying attention, I promise, you'll see it too. Because where there is a pattern, there is a purpose. And where there is a design, there is always an artist. I leave you with this saying today, perhaps the realest you'll hear, second only to truth itself, which is, there is no coincidence in life. Every meeting, every silence, every detour, even the very moment you're watching this video, is stitched with intention by unseen hands. You may call it chance, but truth calls it design. So, walk with this and let it reshape the way you see your steps, not as accidents, but as whispers of purpose,